Hello guys, here comes Roshan again. On this particular video we'll be trying to decipher one of the coolest stuff in programming. Yeah guys, we'll be looking after loops in programming. Before directly diving into what is loop and how it works, let us first look upon the scenario why loops are needed. Let's say the requirement of our program is to calculate the area of the room. As we all know, the formula for calculation of area is area equals length times breadth, A equals L into B. So for that, first of all, let's define variables area, length and breadth. Now let's ask for user input regarding length and breadth of the room. Enter length and breadth of the room. Two integer values will be stored at address of A, address of B. Address of length, address of breadth. Now the formula is L into B. Now we'll be displaying the area of room is integer value. Whose value we need? A. Okay, now let's compile and run this particular program. Enter length and breadth of the room. Let's say 3 by 5. Area of room is 15. Up to this point we have no issues whatsoever regarding the functioning of this code. But what if we need to calculate the area of another room as well? We have to rewrite all these lines of codes. Now let's copy and paste. Now let's compile and run this program for the calculation of two rooms. 3 by 5. Area of room is 15, and in order to calculate the area of another room, 7 times 8, 56. Now up to this point we have used these lines of codes for calculation of area of two rooms. What about calculation of 4 areas? We'll again copy and paste these stuffs. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 by 3, 4 by 5, 6 by 7, 8 by 9. Okay, this is for the calculation of 4 rooms. What about calculation of area of 400 rooms? Now it would be pretty much painful, I guess. On scenarios like this, where the shorthand codes are again being repeated, it's redundant coding. It's not an efficient way of handling these stuffs. So what we have been literally doing is we have been using these 4 lines of codes again and again. So it's to be honest, it's an wastage of resource as well as wastage of our efforts as well. So won't it be cool if we are able to use this particular block or these particular lines of codes as many times as per our requirement without repeating these codes? It would be pretty much fascinating. So this is where loops fit in. Okay, loops are needed for these sorts of scenarios. So guys, what is loop? Loop is nothing. It's just a mechanism where certain acts or certain actions are repeated on continuous pattern. Until when? Until it finds a way or route of coming out of that particular area or instance. Let's take an example. We want some guy to revolve around one table 5 times. For what? I don't have any reasons for that. I'm just providing an example for understanding of loop. Let us say this is our table and this guy had to revolve around here 5 times. Now, in order to revolve around this particular table, the points we have to note here is starting point or beginning value. That is, in order to complete 5 rounds or in order to cross the boundary of 5, from where he's going to begin, is going to begin from 0, 1, 2, or what value, that is starting point. Similarly, we have to check the test condition. Test condition is whether you had successfully completed 5 rounds or not. Then after each completion of every round, we have to increment the existing value of count. Yeah, so these are going to be the parts of loops in programming. That is, at first there is going to be initialization, that is beginning value. Then there comes test condition and increment or decrement. So on each and every loops there's going to be these 3 parts: initialization, test condition, and increment or decrement. Okay, and loop is nothing, guys. It's just the act of repeating certain task continuously until and unless we get a route or way of coming out of that block or action. Okay, now types of loops in programming. There are 3 types of loop which are used. One is while loop, another one is do while loop, and the last one is for loop. All these loops could be used in place of one another. Do while loop is a bit different from the existing while and for loop. The working pattern of while and for loop is exactly same. Do while is a bit different, which we'll decipher on upcoming videos. And on all these loops, while loop, do while loop, and for loop, there is going to be 3 parts: initialization, test condition, and increment. Okay, guys, I guess you are able to handle the concept of loop, or why loops are needed, what is loop, what are the types of loop on this particular video. On the next video, we'll be trying to implement the logic of while loop, do while loop, and for loop, how they actually work, so as to let ourselves well equipped regarding the handling of loops. For now, it's time for me to bid you guys bye. I'll be definitely catching you guys on the next video with implementation of loops in our program and application. Have fun, happy coding.